Hello, and we are back with a new video. Sorry. Okay. Holmes versus Tim Witherspoon, 33, 25, same height, and a little bit difference in weight, bigger difference in reach, and bigger difference in hand size. This is a great matchup. I'm just going to turn the brightness up. It is up. Tim Witherspoon versus Larry Holmes. Tim Witherspoon has that right hand in front of the face. I like this fight because we'll get into this from the very beginning. Everybody knows Larry Holmes has one of the best jabs ever, if not the best jab ever in any weight class. His reach, the way he throws it, his distance and everything is just great. Now, Tim Witherspoon is a fighter. I forgot his coach's name, but he had a great coach. And Tim Witherspoon does that. He keeps the right hand in front of the face to catch the jab. So what I like about this fight is Tim Witherspoon catches a lot of Larry Holmes' jabs simply by having his hand in front of his face right there. So that's the reason I've chose this fight today, to study this. I want to show people how you could deal with a great jab, with any jab, by simply catching it. Now, my coach was a big... He made a big deal about catching the jab. We would have to do drills about catching the jab a lot. And I gotta say, watching other fighters, even professionals today and stuff, getting hit clean with a jab is pretty embarrassing. You should be able to catch a jab. You know where it's going. It's going to your chin. Here he gets hit. Tim Witherspoon gets hit because the jab with his right hand is too low. When you're catching jabs, your right hand should be right under your nose, so you can still see over it, but you can still catch the jab. And as a fighter, you know where the jab is going. It's going to your chin, okay? So Tim Witherspoon does a great job of catching that jab in this fight, and that's really why I chose this fight. See, now this is where it should be, and you should have that chin tucked behind it. We'll see when he catches another one. So, yeah. A great jab like from Larry Holmes, and just having that hand over the... See that? From Tim Witherspoon. This is, I think, fighters should spend years developing this skill, which is catching the jab. Because what's the most common punch in boxing? The jab. You should be able to get rid of that punch. Okay, this is a great defensive maneuver from Tim Witherspoon. But yeah, a lot of fighters today, they have their hands beside on their ears and stuff, and they never think to catch a jab, and they just let the jab hit them. Not just today, but throughout boxing. Okay, catches that. Right hand, puts the right glove around the face, blocks that left hook, or it might have slipped in. I've watched this fight, I think, almost a year ago, so it's refreshing in my head, but I do remember the key points. Later in the fight, Tim Witherspoon tries to knock out Holmes, thinking that he had him, but Holmes, he had a great chin. He didn't go down. But I love how Tim Witherspoon... almost neutralizes Larry Holmes' legendary jab. And it's not like he's slipping like super quick or like, doing something crazy to get rid of the jab. All he's doing is catching it. Being able to catch a jab, I think, should be part of a boxer's arsenal, main part of his arsenal, or her. Okay. So we have, the shoulder roll by Floyd. It's kind of like this too. So you have the hand across the face. You have the chin angled over. You're in a more bladed stance. You have this hand. Now this hand, if Larry Holmes jabs at him, Tim Witherspoon could just pop out his elbow, block the jab. He's covering the body. What he's open for here is a jab to the heart, which you could just turn to the side and it can let it hit your bicep. He's open for a left hook, which instead of being open, when the left hook comes, he brings this right hand, puts it over here, and he's open for the body shot. Okay, now this jab is like a knife when Larry Holmes can jab at him, right? So imagine Larry Holmes is stuck his jab out. This hand could slip right under Larry Holmes's jab and catch him in the body, or come up to the chin, kind of like what this is a more it's like Ken Norton versus Muhammad Ali. If you watched Ken Norton before, but Ken Norton had it was more of a cross guard. This is more of like a newer version of the cross guard. But it's the same idea. I'm going to catch your jab, I'm going to send my jab. Nice right hand. Oh yeah, Tim Witherspoon, he throws the right hand to the body a lot in this fight. And so Tim Witherspoon, this is the full thing I want to say. Tim Witherspoon tries to get rid of the jab of Larry Holmes. He's not just catching it. If I remember correctly, he attacked the body with the right hand a lot. Let's see if he does it when Larry Holmes jabs or what's going on. Let's see. So, boom. Okay, he throws it without Larry Holmes jabbing. We'll see in later when he throws it if he's trying to do it to get rid of the jab or not. Now he's moving his head. So you catch it sometimes, he slips sometimes. But the jab should be the easiest punch to block, no matter how good someone's jab is, because it's coming for your face. You just got to put the glove in front of your face. Now, it's easier said than done. It takes a lot of practice. But after you've practiced it, when you're a pro, it's easy because you know where the jab is going. The hook is a little bit more different. The hook can go to the body, to the head. But when you're in this stance, if the jab goes to the body, you block it with the forearm, the elbow. You could twist to the side, and if it comes to the face, you catch it. Now, if someone does this a lot, what would I do is fake them with a jab. Okay, this is what Larry Holmes is going to do later on. I'll point it out. You fake, if Larry Holmes fakes Tim Witherspoon with a jab, Tim Witherspoon has his right hand in front of his face, and then Larry Holmes goes around with the hook, because that's what Tim Witherspoon's open for. Okay, so instead of throwing a real jab and getting it caught, you throw a fake, you come around with the hook. Then when Tim Witherspoon tries to block the hook, after he gets hit with it, you send the straight right. Okay, that's how you make him move his hands around. But the thing that tricked me about that is that Larry Holmes only did that twice or three times in the whole fight, where he faked the jab and came around with the hook. I would have done that all night long. Then I would have faked the hook through the right hand. When someone has their hand across their face like that, with the left hand down, they're in a position where they have to move their hands around to defend everything. So you want to make them move their hand, especially their right hand, from the left side of their face to the right side of their face, and keep it moving around. And then that's how you sneak in the right hand, the left hook, and then you start working the liver. Tim Witherspoon's coach, I forgot his name. I think his name says over there. He was a pretty young coach. I like the way he coaches. He's pretty calm, but I haven't heard too much of him. I haven't found too many videos of him. If someone knows who he is, how he came up and stuff, if you can let me know, that'd be awesome. Thank you. See that lead right? Boom. Let's talk about the lead right for a second. So the lead right, a lot of people, what they do is they rotate it like a power right hand. When you throw a lead right hand, it's basically a jab. Okay, all you're doing is just popping it out. See how he splits? So Tim Witherspoon just puts his weight on his left leg. He leans in a tiny bit, and he just pops it out like a jab. Boom. See? Just like a jab. If this was his left hand, it would be just a jab. He's not putting too much rotation. Yes, rotated a bit to get it to land, but it's just a quick shot. Bang. And that's an expected shot. So you don't need power on it. See how Tim Witherspoon's able to walk in, and he's feinting. He's going to throw the right hook to the body, I believe, somewhere pretty soon. I remember him throwing it more than 10 times. There he goes to the body. There he goes to the right hand again. But okay, this is it. Is it? So, jab, hook. He didn't commit to the hook, but see how much he committed to the jab but not the hook. I would have not committed to the jab and committed to the hook. But you see how Tim Witherspoon reacts? His hands go up in the air. See, this is dangerous for him. He doesn't know what's happening. See, he smiles it off. But for that split second, that's where you want to get people. Because I fight like this, I know how it feels like when someone comes in with jabs and hooks. Your hands, you want to block everything and you get a little confused. Right there. If you can get someone as Tim Witherspoon in this position a little bit more, see how he's off balance. He's just trying to get out of that situation. That's a good situation to put those type of fighters in. See that jabs back at Larry Holmes, catches his jab, jabs back. Tim Witherspoon is a smart fighter. See, okay, sorry for stopping the fight so many times. Okay, see how he angles his head down and his eye is looking at Larry Holmes, but he's not looking straight at him with his chin, because then this wouldn't work. Okay, when you do this, he's covering this side of the face with this, and then this part becomes a little bit farther away for Larry Holmes's hook. Holmes would have to actually reach in a little bit more, giving Witherspoon more time to move his hand over here. But with this stance, if you're not sideways, it's like bladed. If your left shoulder isn't aimed at your opponent completely and you're more squared, then you're more susceptible, I don't know how to say the word, to left hooks. This stance works better if you're completely sideways. Okay, so if this shoulder was aimed at Larry Holmes, then Larry Holmes would have a little bit more trouble coming over with the left hook. Like here. So Holmes could go in with the jab here. He could fake the jab, come over the hook. See how that's open? And see how you basically only see this side of Tim Witherspoon's face. You see the left side. You can't really see the right side. That's what you want. But I would have said he should have been a little bit more, I don't know if I could explain on the screen, a little bit more sideways. This shoulder should have been here or around here. A little bit too square. But it's not a big problem because Larry Holmes doesn't take advantage of this mistake. Not a mistake, but he doesn't take advantage of his stance. When you're fighting someone, you want to study their stance in the first round too. See how they defend, how they are. And then you want to do everything against their stance, basically. See how covering the whole left side, this side's a little bit more open. And Larry Holmes has a long reach, so he could get around with the hook. See that even if the jab lands, it lands on the top of the head, not really on the nose or on the chin. I love this. This is my favorite style. And see how he's actually walking Larry Holmes down. And there's that right hook to the body that Tim Witherspoon throws a lot. See how he's moving. Now he's putting the pressure on Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes doesn't like this pressure. He just wants to jab, keep you out, and throw that right hand. Let's see how Tim Witherspoon gets rid of that right hand. So, oh yeah, he slipped this one. So he slipped the jab. Bang. That left might have caught him. Not sure. See that tucked in behind that right hand. Switch. Oh, nice feint. If you watch Ken Norton, he does the same style against Muhammad Ali, against other fighters. He had the same style, but it was a little bit more less clean, kind of. He started boxing, I think, pretty late in the military. So his style was a lot less sharper than this. He still had like close to this style, but it was a little bit different. Tim Witherspoon's style is really close to the Philly shell that you would see like Mayweather do. It's basically the same hand positioning. You would just twist a little, turn with the punches with the right hand more. But see right there, Larry Holmes is getting too caught up in the jab. Fake the jab, come around with the hook. Even if none of them land, I want to move this hand. I don't want this hand to stay here. Because as long as this hand stays here and Tim Witherspoon's comfortable catching my jab, he's going to fire his own jab and hook with his left hand. You want this hand to move around. Okay, I'll jab him to the stomach, make him bend. I'll come over with the hook, right? Get his hand moving, and then you'll open up a way for that right hand, which he's protecting right now and you can't really land. Is a right hook to the body coming? No. Like I said, Tim Witherspoon, he thinks that he has Larry Holmes hurt, and later on tries to knock him out, doesn't. Nice right hand. Let's see how we caught that right hand. So I love studying this fight. I've watched it twice, like I said, almost a year ago. And the reason I like it is because they both do great things in this fight, and they're both well-respected fighters. Let's see. Okay, that's another way to slip the jab, which is slipping inside. So there's two types of slips. You could slip outside. Outside slip is basically you're slipping outside of the opponent's body. Inside slip, you're slipping inside the opponent's body. So here, this is dangerous because if Larry Holmes threw that right hand, bang, it's right on the chin of Tim Witherspoon. But Tim Witherspoon throws his own right hand when he does that. I'm more in favor of slipping to the outside, especially in the first at least a few rounds when the opponent is sharp. As I start feinting and making the opponent miss and catching their jab, getting rid of their jab when their jab slows down, I'll start slipping on the inside a little bit more. This is my favorite counter from Larry Holmes in this fight. So Larry Holmes' speed, people say he had a quick jab or whatever. His speed isn't really appreciated enough. He was a tall, big guy that had a lot of speed. He's kind of like a beefed up Tommy Hearns, the way I don't know how to explain it, but he's pretty wiry. Even though he has mass on him, he's a sharp shooter. Let's see. Blocks that right hand with the forearm. Bang, right, lands kind of on the neck, steps out. Now let's see that in full speed. If you watch Larry Holmes versus Marvis Fraser, Joe Fraser's son, you'll see how fast his right hand counters are. People talk about his left jab, but they don't really talk about how fast his right hand was. It's like a snake. Bang, see how sharp that was? And he fakes him. I like those glasses. Oh yeah, Mike Weaver got robbed in this fight. Or he says he got robbed. I think it was against, I forgot who it was against. But as a triple, this fight was right before he's talking about bad decision or whatever. See, there you go. That's a jab from Tim Witherspoon. So you never really see people taking away Larry Holmes' jab the way Tim Witherspoon is. See, he slips. He just dips down. I call that a dip, or just making yourself a little smaller. It comes up with his own jab. Jabs again. So this style, this position is the best, I think, position to out-jab someone. Okay, because the jab is coming over your back. All you got to do is get a little bit shorter. The jab's coming over your back. This one's ready to go. You can even stick this hand out here, kind of. So it's not all the way up. It's not all the way down. It's kind of in the middle, pointed at the opponent. And as soon as they jab, you just pop, flick it back at them. Right there, see that? Nice, that was a nice double jab right hook by Tim Witherspoon. Tim Witherspoon had a great game plan in this fight. He's putting pressure on Larry Holmes. A guy with long arms like Larry Holmes, they don't want to get in close. They want to keep you at a distance where they could feel comfortable throwing punches. It's like someone that's a size XL wearing a size X small t-shirt. They feel that they're too big for the t-shirt. Same thing for long arms. Not a lot of long-armed fighters are good on the inside, so they want to keep you on the outside. So by putting pressure on them, even if you're not hitting them, you're making them throw shorter punches, and it kind of it annoys them a little bit. Let's see. Nice. Now Larry Holmes knows that Tim Witherspoon is he's a right hand happy right now. He's right hand counter happy right now. So what he's doing, he's just touching him to the stomach, ready to move out. Now he knows what Tim Witherspoon's favorite counter is. Larry Holmes is the wise old man in this fight, even though he's not that old, but see that's all you got to do against the jab. Pop, cover up, because you know where the jab is going. The jab is going right to the chin. That's the thing when I see guys like Canelo or something get hit clean with a jab, and it keeps happening. Like you're gonna get hit with a jab a few times in a fight especially against a great pro, but like you're never gonna think of actually catching that jab. I think I'm not sure if Tim Witherspoon caught that jab clean, but look what he does. He sticks his out as Larry Holmes' jab comes out. But I'm not sure who landed the harder punch. It might have been Larry Holmes. See that? Keep that right hand in front of the face. Okay, that's the next step. There's a guy, I forgot his full name, Barnett, I think. He threw the right hand like this. He fights like Tim Witherspoon. He keeps that right hand in front of the face. Boom. And he throws it. What was his name? Pretty mad that I forgot his name. But he keeps his right hand like how Tim Witherspoon covers up, and he throws that right hand from there. Instead of throwing the right hand from the side of the face like most boxers are taught, he throws it from across the face. Witherspoon kind of does it here. I'll try to explain it better a little bit later. So, you see from here, I forgot his name. I gotta find his name. But he'll just twist it out. He'll just throw the right hand out from here. Instead of from the side of the face, like from here, he'll throw it from bang. He just pulls that left shoulder back, drives that right shoulder forward, pops that in like a snake, brings it back. Like from right there, he would throw a right hand. I think he fought Leon Spinks. He was a light heavyweight. Something Barnett. If anybody remembers his name, I'm pretty mad I forgot his name because I studied him for a while. Not Larry. Something Barnett. But he fights like this, a little bit more old school than Tim Witherspoon. But I'm not sure actually. Might have been the same time. But he really commits to putting the right hand in front of the face. Tim Witherspoon kind of switches it up depending on what he's doing. There's that right hook to the body. So if someone has a good jab like Larry Holmes, you want to get him with the body with the right hand sometimes. Make him think of his body so he's not always sticking that jab out. I like how Tim Witherspoon switches styles. He'll put both hands up sometimes. He'll go in this shell sometimes. which is very good because it gives you different punches to throw. Nice body, nice right hook from Tim Witherspoon. Nice right hand. No, like I said, Larry Holmes is the older, wiser fighter, so he knows how to control himself, how to pace himself. He's seen it all already. And that's the difference. Like say with Tim Witherspoon, he landed some really good shots, and they get hungry to land more shots. The more experienced fighter, they take them, and then they just continue to the next round. They don't see every punch they land as the opportunity for a knockout. They know sometimes they'll land a clean shot, but it's not going to be a knockout. Like, they can't follow up with a knockout right away. One of the best coaches ever, Eddie Fudge. Worked with so many different styles. He worked with Joe Frazier, who was a smaller heavyweight. Worked with guys like Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, which had long arms. He reminds me of Emmanuel Stewart, who could train tall fighters without being tall himself. Let's see this. Sticks out the jab. Witherspoon, this is not really a rubberneck, but he's just turning his head to the side. Bang. Comes over it. Does he catch him? Catches him. Yeah. So this is what understanding your opponent is like. So Lennox Lewis, if he threw a jab, usually he doubles up the jab and he's coming over with the right hand, which Larry Holmes does that, of course. But Larry Holmes, he has such a good jab, he just throws one jab at a time sometimes, okay? So when you know your opponent commits to one jab at a time, you can do what Tim Witherspoon does here, which is just look away, make him miss, bang, counter that. So that's something you learn in the first 2 rounds. See, Larry Holmes throws a lot of single jabs. Other fighters, they don't throw too many single jabs. They throw double jabs, see? Now, the easiest jab to catch is the single jab. When they throw more and more jabs, it becomes harder and harder because the timing and stuff throws you off. But if someone commits to the jab like Larry Holmes, like that one single jab, it becomes more and more easier to catch and slip away from it, time it, because you could just watch his elbow when it pops up and then you just move, you catch. But that's why you always want to switch it up. Jab the body, jab the head, double up the jab, triple up the jab, single jabs, power jabs, fast jabs. Mix up the jab. The jab should never be the same. See how Larry Holmes has a punishing jab? It's one jab, pop. See, it counters it, pop. It's pop for pop. Which is not a bad jab, it's a great jab, but it becomes easier to catch a single jab. I like that step over that Witherspoon does, or did right there. But yeah, I never like throwing the same type of jab in a row. Unless I got my opponent, I'll mix it up. Fast jabs, strong jabs. Larry Holmes is trying to walk him back now with the jab though, but he's throwing too many singles. With a guy like Witherspoon's style, you gotta really throw 3 left hands at. Okay, this is what I want to say. You gotta throw 3 left hands at a time to get him to open up his defense. Let's see. See, he fakes the jab. Right hand. Okay, this isn't what I was mentioning before. He fakes the jab and goes with the hook. Doesn't fake the hook, then throw the jab. But that works too, but it just didn't work here. Because Larry Holmes, I don't think he was known for a big left hook. If he did have a big left, like a good left hook as good as his jab, I think he would have gave Tim Witherspoon a lot more trouble. Let's see how he's getting these jabs in. Bang. So, common mistake in this stance, Tim Witherspoon is either standing too tall, so his right hand is too low, or he's not bringing it up high enough, or his chin isn't tucked in. You gotta have that chin tucked. See, mistake right there. See where his hand is? The other ones where he's catching them, his hand is over here. Okay, and see how his his chin is up here? His chin should be down here. So Larry Holmes gets that one. Now Larry Holmes is going under the jab of Tim Witherspoon. Bang. Bang. Awesome. So Tim Witherspoon has shown you how to throw a good jab, how to catch a jab, and what mistakes you can make when catching a jab. But it's hard to be perfect every time, of course. He's caught a lot more jabs than he's been hit with. This is the punch that I like from Tim Witherspoon in this fight. The right hand to the body. Bang. Get him off of you. Let's see if... I don't know why Larry Holmes didn't double up the left hand in this fight a lot. No, I thought he threw a hook there after the jab. Jab, hook, jab. Hook, jab. Fake the jab, hook. Fake the hook, jab. Jab the stomach. You gotta mix it up with this style that Tim Witherspoon is fighting in. Always, the better the defense someone has, the more you have to move their hands around. And when you move their hands around, they can't counter you because they're too worried about moving their hands around to defend that they don't have time to counter. What round is this? Is this 5 or 6? There he is. Muhammad Ali was, if I remember, he was actually complimenting Tim Witherspoon in this fight. I think he said he wasn't expecting him to fight or something like that, but he was really complimenting him. It was really cool to see. See, the right hand is too low. Oh, he got a thumb or something in the eye of Tim Witherspoon. So the old gloves, you can move the thumb around so you could really poke someone in the eye. Round 5. See, this is I don't know why Larry Holmes. If someone knows more about Larry Holmes' left hook, please correct me, because I'm assuming that he did not have a great left hook, because he would have threw a lot more if he did. Watch this. Jab. Right. Hook. Right hand again. See? Watch how many times Tim Witherspoon's right hand moves around. If you watched my fight analysis of James Toney versus Holyfield, it's almost the same thing. Holyfield was a little bit more restricted because his left shoulder was hurt, but same thing. He would block everything with the right hand. He would have to have his right hand here, move it back, and gave him a lot of problems. Now let's see what happens here. So he goes to catch a jab. Okay, now what Larry Holmes is doing now, he's not aiming the jab here. He knows that Tim Witherspoon is going to dip down here. So instead of jabbing at his chin, he's jabbing over here. Watch where my cursor is. See? Another mistake with this style is putting this hand too far out. It should be closer to the face. It should be always, this hand is way too up here. Okay? But Tim Witherspoon thought that Larry Holmes was going to jab where he was. So if Larry Holmes jabbed over here, Tim Witherspoon would have blocked that. But this guy isn't slow. He knows where Tim Witherspoon's gonna go next. This is the 5th round. So he catches him. Bang. Throws the right hand. Now Witherspoon goes to block the hook. I don't know if this one lands. Assuming how Larry Holmes threw that hook, I don't think he had a great hook. Okay, throws that hook. Right hand again. Okay. See how Larry Holmes went this side, this side, this side, this side. No, he went this side, back to this side. That's what you get. He should have done this more, but I don't know why he didn't. If you watch James Toney versus Holyfield, if James Toney was fighting Tim Witherspoon, he would have threw punches on both sides of the face. But that's how styles make fights. Larry Holmes was more of a jabber and a right-hander, but I'm assuming he didn't have a great left hook. I will be studying Larry Holmes versus Mike Tyson because I think he did everything correct to beat Tyson. He was just too old at the time, and his hand got caught in the ropes. But he did really good for 4 rounds. He was really giving Tyson problems. Okay, let's see. I want to talk about how Tim Witherspoon puts Larry Holmes on the ropes here. Let's wait for this little thing to go away. Okay. Moves in under that right hand. He goes southpaw. His left hand is aimed right in the stomach of Holmes. Let's focus on Tim Witherspoon's left hand. Bang to the body. And see how he has Larry Holmes on the ropes? And he has his feet. Larry Holmes can't really step out over here. And then they get tied up for a split second. Tim Witherspoon had really good positioning. My favorite ref ever. Too many single jabs from Larry Holmes. Should have doubled them up, flicked them out more. He's trying to punish Tim Witherspoon. Okay, there you go again. He goes both sides of the face. Let's see what happens here. Okay, let's see. Throws a jab. Tim Witherspoon has the right hand there. Throws a jab again. Body. Right hand. Hook. See? There we go. Remember in the first round, I think, when Tim Witherspoon was in this position, I said you want to get them in this position because then they're kind of like frantic for a sec. No, Larry Holmes, he should have thrown the like boom, boom, hook, right hand right away. But it's like he went 1, 2. He was off balance. He had to get his balance. And then he went hook right. But if he threw 1, 2 hook right quick, like in the same combo, but it's not going to happen every time. You're going to be off balance sometimes. So he goes jab, right. Now this is what Tim Witherspoon doesn't want to be in with both hands up to the side of his face. Hook by Holmes. And he has a perfect pathway in between the gloves. It's pretty grainy, but if you could imagine. Bang. I'm not sure if that landed by the reaction of Tim Witherspoon. But he should have done way more of that with... I don't know why Holmes didn't do that a lot. So that's the second time he did that. And this is the 5th or 6th round. No, this is the 5th round. I like how I'll just keep playing. How Tim Witherspoon kind of retaliated against Larry Holmes putting his hand out. Holmes was really good at creating distance between him and shorter fighters because he had long arms. He would just stick them out on your chest. Let's see this one. Jab. Okay, another thing about when someone gets closer to you is you don't really hit them with the jab from here. You could put your wrist on them or your palm on them. That becomes your jab. That's how you make a shorter jab on closer distance. So here, if Larry Holmes committed continuously, his jab would have ended up over here on the back of Tim Witherspoon. So when you see someone's slipping inside, you kind of put your wrist on their neck. Like that, right? So it's not fully out, but you have you've measured them. Now you know where you should throw that right hand. Okay, so again, if you see someone about to slip, if they start slipping or stepping in before you even stick out your jab, instead of Larry Holmes going straight and trying to throw that hard jab that he's been throwing for the past 5 rounds, it would have ended up on his back. When you see someone slipping in, you use the side of your glove or your palm, a little bit of your palm, and you stick it on their neck. See how he sees Tim Witherspoon stepping in? Put that. See that? Okay, now this is perfectly measured. Now this is like a bug's antenna. It tells you what's over here. If Larry Holmes threw that jab and it landed on the back of Witherspoon, he would have missed the right hand potentially. But here has perfect measurement of Tim Witherspoon, his distance and how he's bent. He doesn't throw a straight right. He throws it coming down. Lands perfectly. Let's watch that again. Remember, Larry Holmes has been throwing that strong jab, popping it out for the whole fight. Now he sees Witherspoon come in, put that palm on him, bang, perfect measurement. So you always, for every distance, you make adjustments for your punches. You don't throw a jab from close range the same you do from long range. Same with the right hand, same with the hook, the uppercuts. Now Larry Holmes knows that Tim Witherspoon likes to dip to his right. Comes over, pop with that right hand. The reason I like watching an older fighter versus a younger fighter is you see the adjustments they make. You see how they start to think. See, they stick that jab to the heart. I think Larry Holmes is taking a break here. If you watch Floyd when he was younger, he would fight for the last 10 seconds. But when the bell would ring 10 seconds later in his career, when the 10-second mark would go, he would just move and feint. He wouldn't waste time trying to hit you in the last 10 seconds. He'd just play it more safe, feint you, and then get out the way. Sorry, that was my elbows. The Crown Affair. Yeah, it was Michael Weaver versus another guy, and then this fight. So yeah, you gotta watch the Holyfield versus Tony fight, and then watch this fight, and you'll see why I keep saying Larry Holmes should have threw the left hook more and made Witherspoon move his hand around. Each style, each defense has a way to be opened or accessed. You just have to have the right can opener for it. Jesse Barnett, that's the fighter I was saying that he beat. Was it not Michael Spinks? It's Leon Spinks. Yeah. See, I already forgot his name again. Let's see the mistake. Why is Tim Witherspoon? So this is another way to, when you study fights. So Tim Witherspoon was blocking or catching Holmes' jabs earlier in the fight. He was slipping them. Now you got to ask, why is Larry Holmes landing his jabs now, right? And that's how you see what's going. Like, what did he switch up? What did he switch up to become more successful with his jab? Okay, so he aimed that at the top of the head. At the top of the head. Boom, right on the eye. So who's making the mistake here? Okay, Larry Holmes didn't really switch up his jab a lot. It's Tim Witherspoon. See how he's putting too much weight on the spark here. He's putting too much weight on the front, and he's really moving forward. Watch this again. He's not just sticking out the jab like before. See how much weight is he putting on this foot? Bang. Wrong time to put weight on the front foot when you're jabbing. Sometimes you want to lean in if you're too far, but the wrong time to do that when someone's jabbing back at you. I would lean in sometimes if I'm controlling the fight and the other guy can't really jab back with me. When he's not countering, when I lean in, I'll lean in a little bit more. Just put some oomph on the jab, but you don't want to do it against a guy like Larry Holmes, who has a longer reach than you, can catch you leaning in. Not a good idea. Nice right hook to the body. So the other thing between older and younger fighters is the mental fortitude. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds like it fits in the sense. The mental stamina, the mental toughness to not make mistakes. Tim Witherspoon wasn't making these mistakes earlier in the fight when he wasn't tired. Or see, where did Larry Holmes aim that jab? He aimed it to the outside because he knew Tim Witherspoon's gonna slip. See where his hand is? See where his face is? This would work though if he was more sideways. I wish I could just turn him. So if he was more sideways, this would have worked because his hand would have been in front of his face. But his face is exposed on this side and then his hand is on this side. So it's a clear open way for Larry Holmes' jab. Let's keep it rolling. See, he hits him again. So yeah, that's the difference between an older fighter and a younger fighter is, see, he's getting caught now. Basically, if he's catching the jab in the first 2 rounds, you want to keep doing that. If Larry Holmes makes an adjustment, you got to recognize that and make the adjustment yourself to continue to block. But if you keep doing the same thing and you let the other guy make adjustments and you're not making adjustments, you are in trouble. Right hand counter. That's when you're fighting someone with more experience, you gotta look for the adjustments they're making. If you're making them miss in the first 2 rounds, why are they landing punches on you in the 6th round? I think he's getting mad that Larry Holmes is putting that thumb in his eye. I'm not sure if it's on purpose. Let's see again. So his eye is swelled up. Okay. No, right before this. Did he slip? Is he saying, oh, I slipped your jab? Or is he saying you poked my eye? Because he didn't poke his eye. He's jabbing at his eye. See that there's that left hook. This is what makes me mad. See, look. No, he threw a jab before this. So look. Okay, he catches your jab, throw the hook. If it landed or it didn't land, throw the jab again. But Larry Holmes is giving him too much time in between. It has to be, instead of, that's how you got to throw that jab, hook, jab. It has to be quick, faster than what Tim Witherspoon could make his hand move. But if you go 1, 2, 3, you might catch him, but he had time to do it 3 times. If you go 1, 2, 3, it's really hard for Tim Witherspoon to move his hand around that fast. See how he's going single? I don't know. It just makes me mad. You got to give them bundles. So like a bundle of left hands, which is a jab. That's fine. A jab, hook, jab. Give them a bundle so it's all at once. Give them a present. And sometimes you give them individual presents. Sometimes it's 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now Larry Holmes learned something from Tim Witherspoon, which is throwing the right hook to the body. Now Larry Holmes is getting more aggressive. See that look in his eyes? I want to point out to this. Now some fighters like Arguello, they don't really have a look in their eye. They don't show their mouth guard. They stay calm while they're punching. They're sneakier guys. Watch the look in this will put fear in a fighter. I don't think Tim Witherspoon was particularly scared, but this look will make you look like you're trying to be extra aggressive, but when you're really not. It's like a trick sometimes. You could be jabbing, so I'll fake someone, but I'll make this look. See how he has that look. Oh. Watch Larry Holmes' face. Oh, he gets hit there. I guess he just did it in that little bit. But sometimes you look angrier than you actually are. And sometimes when you're angry, you want to look calm. Sometimes when you're calm, you want to look angry. It's for different reasons. Come on. Okay. So that was it for the round. I think this is the 12-round fight, 26. Yeah, this is a 12-round fight. It's not 15. So that's where I want to touch on, which was Witherspoon. His defense was really good, but as the fight goes on, he starts loosening up his defense. The defense he's doing, you got to be tight. Loose, but same, you got to be tight, close all those openings. Larry Holmes making adjustments. The older, wiser guy. He should have threw that left hand, more variables of the left hand. Don't just throw single jabs, single punishing jabs. Throw that pop, quick double tap, come around with the left hook. Even if they're not landing, you got to make someone with the defense of Witherspoon. You got to make his right hand especially, you got to overwhelm it, make it work overtime so you can land your left hooks for real, your jabs for real, and your right hand for real. If you want to see how to make someone move their right hand, watch James Toney versus Evander Holyfield. Like from not the first 2 rounds, I think round like after the 3rd or after the 4th or 5th round, somewhere around there. Watch how he starts throwing the punches around on both sides of the face of Holyfield. Thank you for watching. I'll stop yapping around. This is part 1. Part 2 I'll upload it tomorrow. Well, that was an hour. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.